the view by like Dawkins that faith and reason cannot coexist. They are like oil and water. And how to believe in a God, one has to go beyond one's reason and enter into the realm of faith. And a person of intellect and of reason would obviously not believe in a God, and therefore faith and reason do not coexist.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dawkins just defines faith as being unreasoned belief, right? Just belief in, almost belief in the absurd, belief without evidence is what he talks about. So yeah, I mean, that's not how Christians have defined faith. So he wants to have this esoteric view definition of faith, and then say that we don't live up to that, or not say that we don't live up to it, but say that's what faith it really is, even though that's not what you guys believe faith is, and then see how foolish that is. Well, sure, yeah. I mean, if you define it that way and then say that, whether you guys believe that that's what faith is or not, that's actually what faith is, and therefore you're all a bunch of irrational, you know, deluded folks, sure.
And would you say that there's a presupposition amongst especially college professors that this is how it is? We have a in America we have the separation of church and state. We have, religion is not a state religion. It's separated. So, and then you see a lot of laws that are enacted to take God out of the public square. And do you think it's just ingrained in the subconscious, not subconscious, but a presupposition, especially amongst the intelligentsia of the U.S. University system, that this is true? Do you think that they buy into this fact that faith and reason are not able to mix?
I think there's a spectrum, right? I think Dawkins is at one end of the spectrum, where it's faith is just belief without evidence, and carried with that is that's absurd and stupid and foolish and harmful and right and ought to be gotten rid of, right? That's one end of the spectrum. But you have actually a lot of philosophy professors these days who are defending theistic belief and defending even people who aren't like Christian believers and stuff, saying, hey, we need to kind of take a second look at this God claim. Maybe there's something more to that. So you have the spectrum. I think a lot of people, especially in the liberal arts, and especially like around here in the Charlotte area, there's a lot of schools that were Christian schools that have become very liberal, and they tend to see faith as this very personal thing. They don't see it in a pejorative way like Dawkins does, but they still see it as a very personal, subjective thing that it's not necessarily objective, it's more of a subjective thing. So I think there's a spectrum.
Like keep it to yourself, that sort of thing. Like
There's a lot of that. Yeah, I think there's.
don't impose your faith views on me, and I won't impose mine on you, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that was more popular when we were in college and maybe a little bit after. I think it's getting more hostile towards Christianity. And where it used to be, don't impose your faith on me, and I won't impose my faith on you or my thoughts on you. Now it's more like, don't impose your faith on me, but you need to conform to my set of moral standards. It's taken that kind of shift.